Gao Yu is a Chinese dissident journalist who has been in prison many times, for being very outspoken about the Chinese government, and has been arrested and imprisoned on many occasions, but released frequently due to ill health, and is now under house arrest, and as recently as Thursday just gone was attacked in her home by plainclothes police officers, and she's a quite elderly woman but still incredibly outspoken. And this is a poem called Briefing on the Current Situation in the Ideological Realm, which is the translation of a title of a document called Document Number 9, which was one of the reasons she was most recently imprisoned, and it's a kind of internal government memo. My circulatory system built its own infrastructure to Berlin, but they can't switch the machine on yet. The whole lot's on standby. I have arteries pinched in many doors, veins hampered by blockages, blood vessels flattened by boots of various degrees of pressure. They all throb with a rehearsed consistency one attains after 70-odd years. I forget my official age exactly. They wind through the house, through the garden, through gaps and cracks in the building, through pinpricks stuck in newspaper. I roll a stone aside and take its place, stretch down through trapdoors and reappear at the other end of labyrinthine systems of tunnels. But I have to stay here with my heart. It started going just then, purely from the pressure to keep existing, something that's getting harder to do. Almost as hard as having to translate into words through blood across borders that everything's falling apart over here. I caught your eye just then, 7,000 kilometres away. Did you get my postcard in the newspaper, the one not in my handwriting? Did you get the holiday snaps attached to the email? Me sitting stiffly in a restaurant, the pinnacle of outrage. Me defiantly standing in a landscape, the pictures a little too perfect. My heart was quivering the whole time. How's your throat? Still without constriction, still sharing the contents of document number 9. Every day, 1,000 times a day, repeating it until the words mean everything, until the impact of their horror resounds like a bell of unmuffled voices. To sum it up to acquaintances here, the denial of all freedoms. I think it, I draft it. What do you and I share? We share document number 9, in that we share a hatred for it, and arrived at 7 denials, which comprise our whole identity. Once you see it, it's all you see. The state of witnessing the only state. Whether I passed it on, aided its transmission or not, I don't regret it. Every confession will be followed up by an aside to the camera. You know this isn't real, don't you? Do you know what it's like to be an enemy of your country when you're trying to save everyone in it? A dangerous old woman who's persisting. Der deutsche Präsident sagte meinen Namen, and the next day my garden is destroyed, walls and veins collapse, a dusty mush. The day I'm reminded my son was born to be a bargaining tool, my body the compromised shell of a principle in need of protecting. At least in prison, you know you must be prepared. My home is a compromised sanctuary. At least in prison, your family can't be close by, your cell can't be broken into, destroyed, you among it. At least in prison, people know you're in prison. I think I caught your eye just then, out from under the rubble and the tissue. They left my neighbour's garden stand around, bearing down on me in my dry pit. One day I will ride the Deutsche Welle, ablaze with visibility, and a roar without hands around my neck. Germany understands, sends a warning from the past, and I am present. Thank you.